TY. Yes, hopefully that goes better this time. I did a lot of work on it since yesterday. Understanding and fixing and recalibrating and rerouting. Oh, let me get the stylus out. Fuck, where's the stylus? Come on. I don't know where the stylus is. It should be right there. Oh, no, that's not it. Yeah, I have no idea where it is. I have done Entei. It wasn't a proper run though. It was just completely impromptu. I just caught Entei by accident one run and was like, whatever. There it is. All right. Okay. It's not high on the priority list. Unknown. The thing is, it's like, it's not really that much faster than Gyarados. So it's not really worth doing that. Like, if getting Raikou was like, 5 minutes faster, or whatever, then sure, but it isn't. So you're much better off, like, using that huge luck chance elsewhere.
I think if you were going to do that, it might actually be more worth looking at it for 80%, to be honest, than glitchless. Even then, it's not a big difference. I think it's a bit misleading to say it's something that the 3D games can't replicate. It's just that they don't. Because they're just not good games. Team White, you want? For the start, no. For Aipom, I very slightly changed it. Yes, I do. Yeah, all is pretty good. Pretty good. Come on. I mean, it's switch to only as well, right? I ain't even got a switch to. gross. Fucking hate to hear it. Finally. Alright, there we go. Yeah, honestly, I'm still not convinced that I'm ever going to get a Switch 2. I think there's a pretty reasonable chance that I would just say, fuck buying the new games. Yeah, I mean, like, I could buy one, but it doesn't cost $0. And then especially with a bunch of games going fucking digital only where you can't resell them as well. What if? I mean, that would be nice. I did, yeah. So the problem was I was actually hitting the wrong second, and so usually hitting the wrong second will still give you the same NPC patterns, but because there's one encounter tile in Ilex before I get into town, by having the wrong second, that encounter tile could advance the RNG by either 1 or 2, and I kept getting the wrong amount. So then, in town, even when I hit the right frame, I would see an NPC pattern that I did not recognize because it had advanced by 1 different before getting into town. And then when I tried to fix that second, it then fucked up the second for the catch minute, so I had to rat out a whole different catch minute. I mean, it's gotten some stuff early in the past decade. In the decade before that, Australia would very often get things extremely late. Because they'd just be forgotten about. But then they started using it as a testing ground, or, hey, here's a English-speaking country that's close to Asia. Yeah, in most places in history, or even just now, there's a bit of an underlying feeling that they are more superior than people other than them. Unfortunately, humans are not immune to that at all. You know, it turns out we're all just humans. G'day, g'day! Yeah, I mean, obviously that'd be a different thing. But yeah, that would be interesting as well. I know JT's done a lot of those, the custom starter runs. Oh my god. Fuck, I don't think this works. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's so dumb. I think it's always a good insight into people's mind when they ask questions like that. How do you make a choice? Like, what kind of life are you living? Yeah, it's headbutt tree for Aipom. But yeah, the custom starter runs, I think, you know, it's not as interesting as doing it legitimately. So for like Pokemon that you can do legitimately, I would rather do that. So like, you know, having Aipom as the starter poke I don't think is that interesting. But in terms of Pokemon that you can't get, that obviously is how you would introduce it. The other thing I don't kind of like about it is like the... It introduces a few more like... questions about like what's the right way to do it. In terms of like... If you're using a Pokemon that evolves, should it be the base Pokemon or the evolved form that you start with? That kind of thing. No, I evolve Aipom in this run. There's Aipom Plus. And then I'm pretty sure the rules for the custom starter runs that they do is that they actually modify the game further, which I'm not a fan of. Like change the text speed and all this kind of shit. And that just kind of makes the whole thing a bit ugh. Because the thing that I would find most interesting about doing like custom starter stuff is kind of like answering more like macro questions, like what is the best Pokemon to start with? If you could start with any Pokemon in the game. Or, you know, what are the best 5 Pokemon that you could start with? Or something like that, you know? If you could start with anything. But then once you start modifying the game, you're not really answering, like, further, you're not really answering that question anymore. I mean, obviously it depends on the run or the Pokemon. But like the best natures are pretty much always going to be minus one of the defenses and plus something else. Well, it's also a lot of the really good options also have like extra text in one way or another. Like one of the best options if you could start with anything in terms of raw power of killing things is Kyogre. But it's setting up the rain every single fight, which in a vacuum is time loss. The other ones that's interesting, like with this game specifically, is if you started with Raikou, it'd actually be worse than a full game, like a normal full game run. Because by the time you get to the point where you could get Raikou, Raikou would not be level 40 if it was your starter. It'd be like 19. So for the rest of the run it would be worse. There we go. But yeah, like, most legendaries have really bad level up curves as well. So actually getting them levels early on would be pretty shit as well. G'day, 2-1-2-1. I mean, honestly, I have thought about doing that, though. Doing, like, a run with every fucking Pokemon from the start. Just to have, like a leaderboard of, like, best to worst poke. Yeah, they do. Pressure isn't a huge amount of time loss, but it is some. Like, it's not nearly as much as Drizzle. Correct. Aipom from Headbutt Tree. Yeah, Return is very good. And you get it super early in Platinum as well. I mean, you get Grass not pretty early too. I mean, Regigigas wouldn't be as bad as some things. Like, it wouldn't be as bad as Unknown. Yo, 281. Yeah, I did a lot of rerouting for it and such. But I haven't got back there yet on a run. I don't know what the best hidden power on Unknown would be. I had thought about Dark before, because yeah, like you can't go Psychic, because you can't go basically any type that has something that's immune to it, so the obvious one would be Psychic outside of that, but then it's like, you can't hit Dark types. Ice is generally quite a good offensive type, but if you go Ice, killing like thick fat Dugong would just be like, oh my god. I should say thick fat Dugongs. Flying would be pretty bad for the Magnetons. Or even the Magnemites in Jasmine's got. But I mean, every type's going to be really bad somewhere. Well, I mean, the reason Gyarados is really good is because you get it at a very high level. If we're talking about everything as a custom starter, if we're just talking about starting from base form, you'd be starting as Magikarp and it'd be one of the absolute fucking worst, actually. But even if you took it as level 5 Gyarados, it definitely would not be top 5. In Heart Gold, Soul Silver, you have access to choice specs, but not choice band or scarf. So like all of the best ones are going to be special. Especially as well because you would have access to the Voltorb flip TMs. Everything good is going to be special. Well, everything at the high end, I should say. I don't think I've really had an out-and-out favorite of all of the alts that I've used. I really like that all of them have introduced some new thing, one way or another. Generally speaking, one of the most fantastic types through Johto is electric as well. Because there's a gym leader for every type except ground. So few ground types. Oops. Least favorite. I mean, of the ones that I've done, no. There's plenty that I would never consider because they would just be really shit. I mean, I think it's pretty likely I will do Heracross at some stage. But I haven't, like, routed it or anything. I think it'd be fun to do Heracross in Black-White too, actually. Get the extremely rare one from the Grotto with Moxie. Yep. You can manip the hidden grottos though. I've done that in previous runs. Like in World Tournament, I manip the Dragonite to show up. Multi-scale Dragonite. I mean, I wouldn't say no problem. It's actually more complicated than other stuff, but it is possible. Yeah, correct. Yo, too right? Not really in this game, no. Yeah, that's only in Gen 2. In the remake, Cynical is better for the early game. And the whole game. Well, I mean, you don't need Blaze at level 10 anyway. It's at level 11. I'd actually be somewhat surprised if it was actually Emerald, and not some rando shit or something. Yeah. Turns out people highly overestimate how much of an impact that has. Like, even if you're just talking in a vacuum, the thing that has a much bigger impact is Cyndaquil is helped by abilities a lot more than Totodile is. The Cyndaquil gets more mileage out of fire than Totodile does out of water. Force Sprout Tower doesn't make a huge difference in like a vacuum. Like Totodile can do this about as fast as Cyndaquil can as well. Cyndaquil gets a couple more one hits on like the final Bellsprouts, but like you don't get Ember until pretty late in Sprout Tower. But what it does mean is you have to get experience before Faulkner. So one of Totodile's great advantages in Gen 2 is you can go straight to Faulkner's gym without fighting any extra trainers with Totodile. And win with Rage. But if you do that with Cyndaquil, the first Spearow just kills you. And then really one of the big differences is Bugsy, because Bugsy with Totodile is just so fucking awful in the remakes. But in the originals, because he leaves Scyther for last, you can just build up Rage on the other ones and kill him no problem. But in the remakes, he leads with Scyther to use U-turn, and Totodile just folds. Well, that wasn't a great fight. Cheating? How so? What? Why did that not work? I don't get why this didn't work. Alright, I'm gonna have a look here. I actually think I did the movement correctly. I'm gonna have to look at this. Yeah, so it's not Emerald. I told you, when someone said, oh, Emerald's on GDQ, I was like, I'd be surprised if that's actually Emerald. I saw they actually did do Heart Gold Soul Silver. They were doing any percent Manipulus because it showed up on my recommended. And so I was like, you know what, I'll look at the comments. I'm not going to watch this whole video, but I'll look at the comments. And one of the top comments was, what's the tool they were using to calculate the IVs? And I was just like, oh my god. Yeah, I'm definitely not watching. It's of the whole game. I've got to get to Aipom first. Like you can see in the splits, Aipom is just after Bugsy. Okay, so what did I do? I went there. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. Oh, I think I might have bonked on the hiker. Yeah, I did. I bonked on the hiker. That's what it is. Okay. Well, at least that's simple to see where it fucked up. Yeah, I didn't hear that when I was playing. Yeah, I'm not a fan at all. It's also just like, I actually think in speedrunning there isn't much, and especially when it's a game like Pokemon, there isn't much that actually makes the run interesting or impressive. Like that what you're doing is actually impressive. and then using tools to erase those things, it just devalues the whole fucking thing. Reminder that Oz Speedrun's open is in like a couple of weeks. January 24, 25. No, not the entire run. So battles in this run are not manipped at all. To do like battle manip, you pretty much have to save and quit. Technically, the battle with Aipom, where I catch it, I will try and manip, because I have to save and quit before Aipom anyway. And catching it without manip is fucked, because Aipom has a really low catch rate. But yeah, pretty much all of the battles that you see me do, that isn't manipped. And then, like, once I get the bike, I don't manip, like, anything in the overworld either. Because once you get the bike, it's actually faster to just use a rappel and bike through the grass than it is to try and manip not getting encounters. Because if you're biking through a long stretch of grass, you are going to get an encounter no matter what, like, the RNG is. I think it's better that you just think about those type of runs as they're not fucking speedruns. Like, that's just another case of them doing a casual run. With the whole stretch of manip that I'm trying to hold, you do have to optimize that pretty well. To be fair, if I had recognized that I had fucked up by bonking the hiker, I actually still could have continued. I just wouldn't have been able to hold manip to the end of that cave. But that would have been fine. Like, that would have been continuable. I only have to hold manip up to the top floor of Sprout Tower, because that's where I get pokerous. After that, it's just like, well, I can just accept the small time loss, that's fine. Do you mean the only Pokemon run? Or the only run? Because I guarantee you there's other runs. Yeah, no, there's tons of runs that are very much casual stuff, rather than speedruns. To be fair, I'm so, like, so removed from it at this stage. It's not that difficult, but it is an added complication, for sure. Because, like, getting Pokerus is as simple as, like, start a battle at a specific RNG value, but sometimes getting, like, the RNG value where Pokerus will show up on the seed that you're using, it's actually really hard to be in a battle at that point. So, like, say from the start of the run, right? If it's like, you know, you get Pokerus at RNG frame 200 or something, that's just unworkable, because there's no battles until Rival 1. And the earliest you can get to Rival 1 is, like, RNG frame, let's say, like, 480 or something like that, right? Also, I'm surprised you guys are talking about the finale. I actually thought it would only be like the second day or something. I feel like yesterday was the first time I had heard it mentioned. Which gives you an idea of how unconnected to it I am these days. Yeah, that's fair. It's funny thinking about that. I think a lot of the people would think, oh, well, they would rather, you know, play randomizers than do a speedrun, because doing a speedrun you're doing the same thing over and over again and that's boring. But a randomizer would, you know, introduce variables so that it's different every time. But when the rando craze first hit, like, ages ago with Pokemon, like, over a decade ago, definitely. Like, what was it? 15 years ago, maybe? I remember doing a couple for like a few days, and then it was like, well, this has had its time. Like, that's it. Like, to me, that was much a flavor of the week and then never again thing. And then became boring. Because to me, if you're doing that, you don't actually really learn or upskill, it's just adapting. To me, I think it's more of an excuse of actually just plateauing. Yeah, it was definitely early 2010s. Definitely more than a decade ago. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like my thing is, it's like you don't actually learn because it's like the more you randomize, the more it's like nothing is actually tangible. It's not information to learn. It's just getting through that one playthrough and nothing else. And I mean, obviously there's different levels of it as well, where it's like, there are some where they just fucking randomize everything and no Pokemon actually means anything. Like, just everything's got random stats and random types and random moves and whatever, and it's like, so nothing means anything. So somebody actually put up a bounty for Aipom. The apricons are for Kurt. You give them to Kurt, and then he gives me friend balls. So the idea is I'm going to try and catch the Aipom in a friend ball, so that its friendship is 200 when I catch it, so that return does good damage right from the outset. Like, in that kind of space, the thing that I enjoyed a lot more was when we did the Wonder Trade races in Gen 6, where it would be, you know, you don't know what Pokemon you're going to get, but then you play through with that. Yeah. But yeah, no, those were really good. And it's like in that way you do actually learn about the game and the mons and whatever, because, you know, it is actually the game. It's just you using a mon that you weren't expecting to. Aipom evolves in the rocket hideout after the double, just before the electrodes. $32 hit lines double hit. No, it wasn't very often Zigzagoon or Poochyena, because the thing that was getting traded the most was egg mons. It was people breeding a bunch of mons and then getting rid of the not perfect ones. And not that many people were breeding Zigzagoons or Poocyenas. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that I wish was different and I'd love to change. The intimidation factor of speedrunning. Like, so many people think speedrunning is really hard, but actually it's so fucking easy. Because the perception of what people have of what a speedrun is just so warped. No, so I disagree. I think there's a lot you can learn, but people think that they have to. But, you know, it's kind of like looking at Roger Federer and thinking, I need to be that good to play tennis? Wow, that's super intimidating. Like, no you don't. Just hit the fucking ball, brother. Ugh. I mean, again, I don't think you got to stream. Like, obviously I stream a lot these days, but I still do a lot of my speedrunning stuff off stream. Yep, trying to catch Aipom as soon as possible and then use Aipom to beat the game. I mean, yeah, but I mean, obviously, you know, the routing and stuff for Pokemon I do off stream as well. How do I answer that question? You can beat the game with anything. That's not something that has to be discovered. But, I mean, look, I love routing, but I also think, like, it's... like, I find it really fun and really rewarding, and also I'm good at it. But it's also, it's not something you have to do. Like, you can go into a game completely blind, and you can still be speedrunning. Or even not completely blind, it's like you know how the game functions. You don't have, like, a preset plan of what you're doing, but it's just like, just going through the game. Like, that's... still there. And then, like, if you're doing it, you will naturally learn things as you're doing it. As you do with playing any game. I don't know, I should sit down one day and actually, like, flesh out my thoughts on this matter, because I think it is really fucking important, honestly. It's one of the biggest things holding back the perception around speedrunning. I think this is going to have to be my last run. It's getting pretty late to do a full run at this point. I started later today because I was still routing in the morning. These runs have died in pretty unfortunate ways so far. Oh no, it was this. I had to reroute the Aipom seed after what happened yesterday. I mean, let's be real though, if you're getting started with streaming, like, no one is watching your first stream. Like, no one. So I don't think it really fucking matters. Like, even from experience, like, I'd actually still have some logs from some of the early days of me streaming Pokemon Yellow, and like I would be on world record pace in Pokemon Yellow, and there's 3 people in chat. Like that's how many fucking viewers I had. Like it takes a while to get a decent amount of people watching you, whether you're good at the game or not. But like, I see it as any competitive pursuit though, right? Like, that's, you know, that's why I brought up the thing with Federer. It's being, like, to me, that's kind of like, I'm not going to go around and kick a soccer ball around until I'm as fucking good as Messi or whatever. Like, you don't get to be good without doing the fucking thing. Ah, fucked up. See, and here's the thing. I'm supposed to be the best at this game, and I still fucking suck. Anyway, I might do some Emerald Factory later today, but I'm gonna have to stop this now. If I get time, I'll try and do some Emerald Factory, because I do like doing the double stream. Yeah, I don't have time for this anymore. Alright. Well, I still feel more confident than I did before I did this stream today. It shouldn't take me too long to get a run through with Aipom. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I will be back. Take care. Peace, peace.